As with each graduating class, the top 2 overall academic students are recognized for their outstanding achievement in academics. The title of salutatorian has always been bestowed upon the individual with the second highest overall grade point average at the completion of their senior year. The honor of salutatorian for the class of 2020, earning a GPA of 3.883, goes to Ms. Dillian Rojas.
I would like to start out by congratulating the class of 2020 for reaching this milestone, despite all of the trials our class has been through. I would also like to thank everyone who was able to attend the class of 2020 graduation to celebrate our hard work and achievement. It is an honor to be standing in front of you all as salutatorian. Coming into high school my freshman year, I did not expect to be awarded this title. Despite the multiple tests I studied for, I'm so grateful that God has blessed me with the strength in academics. Despite the COVID-19 outbreak that took the ending of our senior year and our senior trip, there's still so many great memories and happiness surrounding us. I always remember the laughs we shared, the trouble we got into, and all of the wins and heartbreaking losses we experienced together. I always remember the 10-paragraph essays we had to write in 5th grade and junior high when we all stuck together like a school of fish in the hallways, getting stuck in the elevator on our FBLA trip, and all of the Uno games. I will always cherish the privilege that I got to know my classmates on a level that other schools don't get to experience. I want to thank all of the teachers here at Risco for the constant support and love and for the multiple hours you spent investing in our education. You have all influenced me more than you will ever know. I would also like to thank our sponsors, Kelly Patterson and Rachel McDowell, for doing the absolute most for our class. Even if we didn't get a senior trip, thank you for putting so much time and effort into helping us fundraise, even if we did think we were only going to make it to Arkansas. Lastly, thank you to my family, who are my biggest supporters. Thank you for loving me for who I am, and also for all the free tanks of gas. I've always said that I couldn't wait to graduate, but now that it's here, I don't want to. After graduation, some of us will go to college and graduate in a field they love. Others will serve our country, and some of us will get new jobs. Our class will go separate ways, and we may not be as close after today, but I wish each and every one of you success and happiness in all that you do. So in a few moments, we will move our tassels and throw our caps in the air as we walk out of the school as the newest Risco alumni. I hope you all strive for success and always remember that God has more in store for you than you can ever imagine.
The title of valedictorian is bestowed upon the individual with the highest overall grade point average at the completion of their senior year. Earning a GPA of 3.923, the 2020 Risco R2 valedictorian is Mr. Dalton Hayes.
I'll be blunt. No advice will be given in this speech. No cliche references that typically find their way into graduation speeches or somewhat relevant quotes about one chapter closing and another opening. I'll leave the advice giving to many people far more qualified than I. People who are more educated and way more experienced than I am. Instead of listening to me, listen or read a book, listen to music, do something you enjoy. Anything is more worthwhile than listening to me talk right now. Maybe when I'm 60 and hopefully rich and famous, I have some advice to give, but right now, I'll keep this speech short. Instead of spending my time up here giving advice, I'll spend my time thanking the people that helped us get to this day. Us graduating would not be possible without the help, support, and guidance of our parents and teachers, coaches, the administration, Ms. Pavey, Ms. Burnett, and lastly, Ms. Dye. You have all encouraged us and cared for us. You have had faith in us when we doubted ourselves, and most importantly, you helped shape us into the people we are today. To you all, I say our success is your success, for you have given us the courage to dare, the knowledge to excel, and the belief that we can succeed. For all you have done for us, we, the class of 2020, thank every single one of you. I know this speech won't be remembered in an hour, but this year we talked about forever. In addition to receiving our diplomas this year, has educated us on life. Instead of being safely cocooned in our personal spheres, as most of us have been for 18 years, we, as humans, were thrust into one mishap after another. Some of us being challenged more than others, in more ways than one. If one lesson can be learned, though, it's that you can never be too sure of what's going to happen. To my classmates, I say, we can't be afraid of what uncertainties the futures hold. We must look forward, charge ahead, and seize the opportunities that are presented. Finally, I want to congratulate each of my fellow classmates. Congratulations, class of 2020. We're here.
I don't know if I can follow that, Dalton. That was pretty good. Jill also. A couple things before I begin. I made a boo-boo in the program. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I do realize your class song is My Wish and not 5 More Minutes. That was last year's, and I used that as a format, so I apologize to you, class. I do know your song is My Wish. The other thing, parents, I know a lot of you mentioned that you would like the passes that you got. I laid those out on the table and kind of separate them. I know some of you scrapbook, so those are available for you to grab after graduation if you'd like. If you don't know me, my name is Sheila Burnett. This is my 25th year at Risco School, but I'm not here today as a staff member. I am here as a member of the Alumni Association for Risco School. That represents Risco School. This is my 10th or 11th year being on the Alumni Committee, and basically our job is to encourage people to join the alumni. We are big on the scholarships. We do the alumni reunion. Many things that we hope you are soon, one of these days, participating in. Our president, Mr. Kevin Carlisle, was not able to attend due to numbers, so I spoke to him yesterday in length, and we've come up with a little bit about each recipient that we're going to be talking about. He does apologize, but wishes each of you the best of luck. As Ms. Pavey mentioned, this is a very unusual graduation. One of the first things I thought of, Mr. Brees mentioned, is the air conditioners. So you are the first class that graduates in a gym with air here at Risco School, and we want to thank our Board of Education and administrators for making that happen for us. As I mentioned, our big thing is scholarships, and for the past few years, the alumni has always given 1 or 2 scholarships every year, and then last year, they surprised me, and I wasn't on the voting committee, but they gave 5 scholarships because every single student that interviewed, they just couldn't make a decision. They were all so good, and the same thing fortunately happened this year. So all 5 of you that interviewed will receive a scholarship. The amount of the scholarship is $500. You'll be awarded $250 each semester, and there's details on how to secure that donation in your packet that I'm going to give you today. But I want to tell the audience something about these interviews. When we interviewed these students, they didn't talk afterwards, so nobody knew what the other person was asked, but every student that interviewed, I asked them this because I was curious. I said, what is the biggest thing you're going to take away from being a student at Risco School? Do you guys remember me asking you that? They all said how caring and loving this community was. That's what they're going to take with them. I wasn't going to cry. So that says a lot about the school, about you parents, about the community, because that's what they're taking away. So now I'm going to quit crying. Okay, the first alumni scholarship is in memory of David Lancaster. He passed away 7 months ago, and his family was so humbled and appreciative that he's already getting a scholarship named after him. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mr. Lancaster. David graduated from Risco in 1977 and married his high school sweetheart, Cindy Owens, a 1978 graduate. He is the father of 4 children and also has 6 grandchildren. He was a respected businessman in Malden for 30 years and served on the Malden School Board for 19 years. David had a love for cars, guitars, and music, and had a collection of all three. His love for his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and his love of music was passed on to his children. For instance, his son Luke, he plays the guitar and leads the praise band at his church. His daughter Abby is the graphic designer for Gibson Guitar in Nashville, Tennessee. David would be honored to know that the recipient of this scholarship, given in his memory, is being awarded to someone who shares the same love for music and guitar as he did. I don't even know this man and I'm crying. I know Jake though. On behalf of the Risco Alumni Association, it is my pleasure to present the David Lancaster Alumni Scholarship to Mr. Jacob Fortner. Okay, I'm going to try to get better at this. The second scholarship presented today is to honor Dora Keister. Her daughter Myra was also a very grateful family member for recognizing Ms. Keister and was very appreciative to the Alumni Association. Ms. Keister was born, raised, and lived her entire life on the family farm on the outskirts of Risco. And I think this year that house is going to be 100 years old. She graduated from Risco in 1952 and soon became an educator with her master's at the district. She taught kindergarten, fourth grade, art, and migrant education classes. Ms. Keister loved her family, her students, her school, and her church, and was loyal to all. You want to know an interesting fact about Ms. Keister? Well, she was born on the 4th of July. And why is that so interesting? Because she was one of the most patriotic women that most people met, and she challenged all of our students to memorize the Star-Spangled Banner. I had to in her class. She loved watercolors and oils, woodworking, gardening, and collecting mules, because her dad owned a lot of mules. She has 3 children, 3 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren, and all 3 of her children graduated from Risco School. Ms. Keister retired in 2000 and passed away last November. We were blessed that she gave so much of her life and love to our school. So on behalf of the Alumni Association, I am proud to present the Dora Keister Alumni Scholarship in the amount of $500 to Ms. Sierra Ludwig. The third scholarship today is to honor 2 sisters, Elaine McConnell and Avenel Connor. Both ladies graduated from Risco in 1941, and after attending Arkansas State University and earning their elementary education degrees, they began their teaching career at Risco Elementary. Ms. Connor loved teaching and her second graders. She continued teaching after being diagnosed with cancer because she enjoyed it and her students so much. Avenel taught school for 30 years here at Risco. She retired in 1978, the same year she passed away. And an interesting fact about Miss Connor in second grade is, if you knew Miss Alice Fortner, Miss Fortner did her student teaching with Miss Connor and became the second grade teacher when Miss Connor retired. Miss McConnell taught third grade for many years. And y'all, I remember her. She was strict and I didn't even have her, but she enjoyed reading the Little House on the Prairie series and the Boxcar Children to her students. Elaine would always say, and this is a quote that her niece gave me, "With all of my years of teaching, I can tell you one thing for certain. It is not a child's IQ that determines their future. It is their I will." The 2 sisters taught side by side for many years at Risco Elementary. Many members of the Alumni Association have fond memories of their time in their classroom. These sisters were extremely close, very family, and so this award feels appropriate to me because when I think of family, I think of this girl. So on behalf of the Alumni Association, I proudly present the Elaine McConnell and Avenel Connor Alumni Scholarship and $500 to Mackenzie Myers. The fourth scholarship this evening is named after an all too familiar name to all of us here at Risco School, Mr. Robert Shaw. An interesting thing about him that he loved, that his daughter Stephanie told me, His initials were RGS, Risco Grade School, Robert G. Shaw. He was very proud of that and said it was just meant to be that he was an educator here at Risco. But he graduated from Parma High School in 1950. He served 4 years in the United States Navy and was a very proud veteran. And if you students, most of you were Beta, you remember he was always attending our Veterans Day services here at the school. He started his teaching career at Malden, but spent his last 19 years at Risco as principal and then ultimately superintendent. He retired from Risco in 1991, having spent a total of 40 years in education. He continued his love of education after retirement by teaching inmates in a Florida prison. Risco School was his heart, though, and one of his greatest memories. He was honored to have his granddaughter, Dr. Amy Baker, to follow in his footsteps. And I'll tell you how important that was to him, if I can get through it. Amy knew that his health was getting bad, and she rushed through her doctorate to make sure that he knew that before he passed away, and she was able to tell him that about a month before he passed away, so he died knowing she became Dr. Amy Baker. In his own words, this is what he said: "It is our duty to instill in young people a sense of responsibility, morality, and patriotism and service to others." I'd say that's pretty close to what she thinks also. Today, his great-granddaughter, Miss Jillian Rojas, will receive the Robert Shaw Alumni Scholarship in his memory. He would be proud to know that you're receiving this and to know that she is also pursuing a degree in education as he once did. Okay, the final scholarship today is the Sonny and Pauline Allen Alumni Scholarship. Both are 1949 graduates of Risco School and also high school sweethearts. 3 facts they wanted you to know about their senior year. They are still currently living. During their senior year, the 2-story high school building burned. If you guys remember hearing the story about the high school burning, there's actually a picture in my office that burned their senior year. So you can imagine they kind of had some trials and tribulations their senior year also. Sonny helped clean up the damage from that fire. And the story goes that there was one girl absent that day, and she had books at her house. She was the only senior that had books, so all the senior class had to use her books for the rest of the school year. Imagine doing that, huh? They went on a 10-day senior trip to Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. And you think 10 days sounds fun, right? They were on a bus with no air. They sat 2 to 3 students per seat. What a bus ride. Their senior class was the first class to graduate in this very gym, which is where we are today, and now it is the Roy Hahn Gymnasium. Pauline was the first of 9 in her family to graduate, and she was also proud to graduate as salutatorian of her class. Sonny ended up working at the school as a custodian and a bus driver for over 10 years, and Miss Pauline worked as the elementary secretary for 27.5 years. Her first paycheck total, this is gross, $200. We've come a long way. They are both retired now and live in Malden. This September, they will celebrate their 71st wedding anniversary. Today, we would like to present the Sonny and Pauline Allen Alumni Scholarship in the amount of $500 to Miss Adiana Vargas. There shouldn't be any more sad things, okay? Prepare y'all. Just a few more things I want to say, though. In a few more minutes, you're going to turn your tassel, and you're going to become Risco alumni. I encourage you to support the Alumni Association by paying your dues, they're not that much, and attending the reunions. Your dues could one day send your child or grandchild to college. On behalf of the association, I congratulate each of you and wish you all continued success in your future endeavors. Remember your family, your community, and this school. As you know, we are all here cheering for you because you know, once a tiger, always a tiger. Good luck and God bless.
Many scholarship committee members could not be with us today, so I will be announcing most of our local scholarships to our students. The first award I would like to announce is the MFA Foundation Scholarship given this year at Risco High School. This $2,000 scholarship is sponsored by MFA Oil and Propane, Kewanee and Lilburn at New Madrid, and MFA Agri-Services at Risco. This is one of approximately 330 scholarships presented this year by MFA Incorporated, MFA Oil Company, and their affiliates. The winner is Jillian Rojas. Please stand to be recognized. It is my honor to announce the recipient of the Risco School Community Teachers Association Scholarship in the amount of $500. Congratulations, Sierra Ludwig. Please stand. The next scholarship is for 5 students for the A+ scholarship. These students had to graduate with a 2.5 GPA or higher, have at least 95% attendance, graduate with 50 hours of unpaid tutoring, and maintain overall good citizenship. They will each be receiving approximately $10,000 to attend a Missouri public community college or technical school. Students, when I please call your name, stand to be recognized for the A+ scholarship. Tyler Edmond. Sierra Ludwig. Mackenzie Myers. Jillian Rojas. And Adiana Vargas. I'm happy to announce the recipient of the Rural Independent Club Scholarship. This award is for the amount of $500 and is being awarded to Mackenzie Myers. Please stand. And our last local scholarship, Mr. Jason Sapp could not be with us today, so I'm presenting that one on his behalf as well. And this is in the amount of $3,500, and this scholarship is being awarded to Jacob Fortner. I will now be announcing individual scholarships that our students have received from their accepting colleges and other organizations. Students, please stand to be recognized again when I call your name. Jacob Fortner. Jacob will be receiving the Merit Scholarship valued at $4,000 from Belmont University. Congratulations, Jacob. Dalton Hayes. Dalton will be receiving the Curator Scholar Award valued at $16,000 from the University of Missouri. Congratulations. Sierra Ludwig. Sierra received the Tomorrow's Outstanding Professional Skills Challenge Scholarship after winning first place in a Group Medical Professions Quiz Bowl. This scholarship is valued at $3,500 from Arkansas Northeastern College. Congratulations, Sierra. Cesar Marquez. Cesar will be receiving the Curator Scholar Award valued at $4,500 from the University of Missouri. Congratulations. Mackenzie Myers. Mackenzie has received the Missouri Beta Scholarship valued at $500. She also received the Tomorrow's Outstanding Professional Skills Challenge Scholarship after winning first place in the Group Medical Professions Quiz Bowl. This scholarship is also valued at $3,500 from Arkansas Northeastern College. Mackenzie was also awarded with a cheerleading scholarship to attend Three Rivers College. Congratulations. Jillian Rojas. Jillian has received the College of the Ozarks Scholarship Award valued at $78,000 for all 4 years to attend the College of the Ozarks. Congratulations. And I'm pleased to announce their grand total of scholarship money received this year is $171,000. Congratulations, class of 2020.
At this time, Dr. Amy Baker, Superintendent of Risco R2 School, and Mr. Ashley Calvert, President of the Risco R2 Board of Education, will present the diplomas to each member of the graduating class. Before doing so, I would also like to recognize each school board member. Jeff White, would you please stand? There you go. Kent Buck, Daniel Presley, Josh Stevens, Mark McDowell, and Chuck Pipkin. And now, the moment you have all been anxiously awaiting. Seniors, are you ready? Would the members of the 2020 graduating class please rise and file towards the stage? We ask that everyone please hold their applause until after all graduates have received their diplomas. Mr. Tyler Alexander Sebastian Edmond. Jacob Christopher Fortner. Alyssa Kaylin Grissom. Dalton Andrew Hayes. Sierra Kimberly Ludwig. Cesar Marquez. Mackenzie Faith Myers. Jillian Alexis Rojas. Ariana Lorinda Vargas.
So before I present the class of 2020 seniors, I would like to say a few words to them. Just a few short months ago, we were unsure if we were going to be able to have this graduation. I know this has been a tough end to your senior year. I also know that some of you feel cheated out of some of your most important final experiences as a senior, and I understand why. However, this class shares something special that no other class has shared, and that is graduating in the middle of a global pandemic. Some of you transferred here in high school, some I've watched grow since kindergarten, and some of you I have held as newborns. With this class, I have personally witnessed some of the devastating adversity that you have had to face. I've also seen firsthand your resilience and your ability to overcome these adversities. That's how I know that these past few months will be no exception. My hope for you today is to embrace these challenges and the new ones that you will face, and not see them as roadblocks, but as just one more opportunity to learn and grow and aspire to be whatever you desire to be. So with that being said, would the class of 2020 please stand and face the audience? You may now move your tassel. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and the Risco R2 Board of Education, I present to you the Risco High School graduating class of 2020.